Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here. This is a Doctor Who exclusive video. Chris Chibnal out, Peter Jackson in. I have been told by a very reliable source that Peter Jackson has coveted the Doctor Who showrunner role for a very, very, very long time. It's been no secret that the BBC were always going to sack Chris Chibnal. He would do season 12 and him and Jodie Whittaker would leave. So it looks like, sources are sources. I'm confident about this, but anything can happen. But I am very confident that Chris Chibnal will leave at the end of season 12 and take Jodie Whittaker and the rest of the cast with her, with him, and Peter Jackson will come in. We will have to wait a couple of years, I think, to see Peter Jackson's vision fulfilled. But this is what I'm being told. So, of course, this is really, really, really exciting because it looks like finally the BBC are taking Doctor Who seriously, because Doctor Who is a very, very important IP for BBC America. It used to make them a lot of money even through the Moffat era, most certainly with the RTD era. It was really competing with Star Trek and Star Wars. And now it's at a standstill because Chris Chibnal was the wrong man for this job. It doesn't matter what you accuse people who don't like season 11 and what Chris Chibnal's done. You can call us racist, you can call us sexist, you can call us whatever you want. It wasn't a very good show. He killed the IP. So to go from Chibnal to Peter Jackson, how exciting is that? Peter Jackson is a genius, I tell you. What he did with the 6 Tolkien Lord of the Rings movies, The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, amazing. He's an amazing producer, writer. I think we've got a lot to look forward to. But what kind of Doctor Who will Peter Jackson give us? Well, I think it will be a Doctor Who we've never seen before. I don't think all of a sudden it's going to get Hollywood. I do believe that we kind of may go back to the classic Who kind of situation where you get an anthology story. So how would an anthology kind of season work? Well, I made a suggestion on a video here on my YouTube channel a few months ago that anthology episodes would really work. So you could have one mini season of 5 or 6 episodes, maybe in March, April, one anthology season. Then in September, return for another 6 episodes. That's 12 episodes a year. That's doable. I think this is the kind of way Doctor Who would work. Now, I also spoke on Twitter the other day about the mistake with the 3 companions. The 3 companions can work. The reason they don't work is because they haven't been given any character traits. When we go back to what RTD did with his Torchwood team, you had Gwen Cooper, who had the passion and the curiosity. You had, what was his name? Owen. You had Owen, who was the arsehole. You had the other one who Captain Jack was shagging. He was like the butler, wasn't he? And then you had Tosh Toshiko, didn't you? Who was the kind of intelligent one, but lacked confidence. So every one of those characters actually had Yanto, that's it, Yanto, who was kind of the butler, who was doing Captain Jack, right? Remember that. So all of RTD's Torchwood characters had character traits, and that made them really interesting, as well as what was going on with Captain Jack. So if you're going to have many companions, you've got to give them all a hook. Well, Chibnal never gave them a hook. He gave them nothing. They were just there. And that's, it was just box ticking, basically. And this was the whole issue. So you can have many companions, but you've got to make them interesting. These companions, even Graham, are not very interesting to me. Graham's the best out of a bad bunch, but Chibnal goes on about representation. He casts a woman and makes Bradley Walsh, is he in his 60s now? I think he is, or late 50s. So a guy kind of in his late 50s, early 60s is the main character in Doctor Who. And the female doctor takes a back seat. That's not representation. That's not good. That doesn't work. If you're going to do these things, you've got to do them right. And at the end of the day, they weren't done right. So Peter Jackson in, Chibnal out. I want to know down in the comments, how you feel about this. Is this something you can get excited about? Because if you can't get excited about this, what can you get excited about? This is a really massive opportunity if my source is correct. I do definitely believe Chibnal will be out after season 12. The only reason he's there is because they had no choice. So how do I think the BBC will handle this? Maybe by the end of the season 12 production, there'll be an announcement. There will have to be an announcement because they'll have to cast a new doctor and Peter will have to decide who that new doctor is. So the question will be to Peter Jackson, what kind of doctor will you cast? A male, female, a minority, a minority actor playing the doctor? Well, for me, how I would cast the doctor is I would just have an open audition call. Men, women, people of colour, minority cultures, everyone can come in and you just cast the best one for the job. There's no issue here. There's no problem. But you must, when you're making drama or film or telling a story, the story must come first. Representation should just happen automatically. And this is the problem. We have been infested in the entertainment industry by political people who want to say how fair and right and woke they are, but they leave the creativeness and the interestingness within the story and the creativity at the door. So I'm hoping with Peter Jackson involved, that won't be an issue. So I'm very excited if this is true. I mean, this is coming from my source, a trusted source, but sources can be wrong, can't they? But absolutely, if this is true, bring it on. Peter Jackson, the genius that is Peter Jackson, running Doctor Who, it would be amazing. So I just think he could give us something new, fresh. No point looking back. No point saying he should do this, he should bring that one back. We've been there, we've done that. I want Peter to do something new, make Doctor Who exciting. And as I say, anthology seasons are the way to go. You can have very exciting anthology seasons if you get the stories right. And I definitely think it's something different that hasn't been done in the revival era as well. It was done in the classic series, but imagine doing anthology seasons with the budget that Doctor Who has. It will be something amazing. I would want to see Murray Goldbach as composer. We should never have lost Murray as the composer. It was absolutely ridiculous. It's a very exciting thing to think there's even a little chance of Peter Jackson coming in and doing this. So I hope it happens. I hope it can work. And I think the future of Doctor Who can be bright again. Because right now, the future of Doctor Who is like a car. You being in a car and being in a long traffic jam and you're not moving. Doctor Who isn't moving. Season 12 will not be what we want it to be. It will be more of the same. It's not going to change. They can do what they like. He's not going to adapt this Doctor. He's not going to make Jodie's Doctor interesting like we want her to be. She's still going to be the same Doctor. They are not here to forward the character, to develop the character. Whenever Jodie Whittaker is asked about Doctor Who and what kind of Doctor she's playing, she doesn't have an intelligent, integral response like the other actors in the revival who have always been asked and have had long, drawn-out answers to who and what their Doctor is. She doesn't have that. All I hear is, oh, she's a bit like Matt Smith's Doctor. She's a bit like David Tennant's Doctor. I don't want to hear that. I want you to know. I want you to know what your Doctor is. And I want your Doctor to be saying, I want it to be a fresh take, a new take. And that is not happened with Jodie Whittaker because they're not interested. They don't care about developing a great Doctor Who show, a great Doctor. They're just about virtue signalling. And we want that attitude gone from the entertainment industry. And we want that attitude gone from Doctor Who. So please comment down below, like, share and subscribe.